This is Personal Injury Court.
It's my understanding, Ms. Roberts, that you are suing Ms. Clark for injuries your daughter sustained in her laundromat. You are asking this court to award you $8,000 for past medical expenses for your daughter, $2,000 for future medical expenses, and $150,000 for emotional distress, for a total of $160,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Clark, you own this laundromat?
Yes, Your Honor.
And your position here, based on what you filed with this court, is she should have watched her kids. This is her fault.
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Thank you, ma'am. Tell me what happened on the day in question.
Okay, so I was folding my laundry. My kids were coloring, and
Are they near you, or are they somewhere else?
yes, they're like 15 feet away.
Okay.
So I was
More like
folding my
25,
clothes.
Doug.
I was folding my clothes, and they were coloring, and all suddenly Gina gets up, and she starts climbing into one of the washing machines, and it happened within 5 seconds. So when at the time I got up, my other daughter, she pushed the door, and then it locks. I mean, within
You
5
must have been
seconds.
frightened.
I mean, it was horrible because it locked.
Yes, ma'am.
And I tried to pull it, and it locked completely. So the water started coming down.
Was your little girl looking at you?
Yes, she started crying, and my other daughter started crying, so I started
I know this was bad.
freaking out because
I can imagine all she wanted was her mommy at that point.
Yes, it's
What are
because of
you
the-
doing at this point?
I'm trying to pull her. I'm trying to push buttons, and nothing. I started screaming for help. Help! Somebody help my baby because she's gonna die.
So-
She never came out, and I thought she was gonna die because I saw her, the water going over her head, and then it started rocking, and then.
Now, Ms. Clark, you can see that this had to be frightening for any parent,
It
any
would have
mom.
been frightening for me, Your Honor. I'm a mother and a grandmother both.
Now, were you there this day?
Yes, I was.
How did you know that something had gone wrong?
When I heard a scream, and I had seen the kids running around throughout, and I was thinking to myself, why is she corralling these kids? Because they're running around. Everybody else's kids is having to.
Yeah, but you don't understand that my daughter
over in the
could've been
kids area,
killed.
and
She could've
before
died
I
that
knew
day.
it, like she said, it happened suddenly. But as she just told you, she saw it when it was taking.
But I would imagine,
you
though,
never came
I would
out.
imagine in any laundromat where moms come with their babies, moms and dads, that kids, 3- and 4-year-olds,
Yes,
they
and
know
that-
nothing but energy, right?
Yeah, but that's all the more reason why you should keep an eye on your kids.
Now,
I'm
you
sure they
agree
have
with
as much
that.
Energy
You agree with that, don't you, Ms. Roberts?
In the home.
And this happened within 5
Ms.
seconds.
Roberts? You agree with that, though. You should watch your babies, right?
I was watching my baby.
I know you're washing clothes. I understand that. I certainly
yes,
do.
but this happened within 5 seconds. By the time I got there, it was locked.
So
She
once the
didn't.
door closed, you said water was
Yes,
coming down?
Water was coming down. Within 2 minutes, it started rocking. And I couldn't even pull it because it locked out.
So she's in the
Yes.
washing machine, this is happening, and then there's water coming down on her head?
So
This
she
is a
starts
nightmare.
screaming.
It is a nightmare,
is
Your Honor,
horrible.
but as
It
she
was-
just said, Your
she
Honor,
was
she
just
saw her
screaming.
baby
I thought she was
climbing
gonna
on the
die.
washing machine. She could have said something at that point. Your Honor, it is
She
not
was
our
so
fault. We
scared.
have a kids area where we ask them and we make an announcement for you to keep an eye on your kids, and please, if at all possible, make sure you
So how-
stay in that area.
doesn't
How
separate.
far is this kids area? Tell me about this kids area. You got a TV and toys,
Well,
that
we
kind
have
of
we
stuff?
have we have TV, we have the soda machines, we have different little toys, little building blocks and things, the chairs, the size for the kids.
So is it fair to say that your laundromat is fit for moms and kids?
Yes, it is.
Working
it's
moms and
not.
kids.
Yes,
Your
it
Honor.
is.
No, it's not. This
So,
area
Ms. Roberts-
is so small. If you see a picture of it, it's so small.
Well, it's about 25 feet, 20 feet between the kids area and the whole laundromat area, and it
You-
is.
And this is the kids area?
That's the kids
that,
area.
That doesn't look like it's going to have a whole lot of kids there, right?
The washing machine, it's about 15
Well, you
feet.
could have a few. You could have.
If this is going to work the way you want it to work, tell me how this happens. Do parents just put their kids over there and go back to washing clothes?
They do.
And leave their kids over here?
Periodically, they come and check on their children, but they can see them. As she said, she saw her child when she first started to climb on the wash machine, and her other child was with her. At that point in time, knowing how rowdy her kids have been, I would have said, even if I was folding clothes, I'd stop folding my clothes.
Mr. Hughes, it's my understanding you're suing on behalf of your daughter who sustained injuries when she was on the defendant Miss Evans' jungle gym. You're asking this court to award you $25,000 for your past medicals, $5,000 for your future medicals, $70,000 for your daughter's pain and suffering, for a total award of $100,000. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Miss Evans, you believe had he been watching his daughter, we never would be here today. This is his fault, true?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce now.
Well, Your Honor, it was a beautiful sunny day outside, and my daughter came running to me and was just begging to go out to the playground and play in the jungle gym. So, of course, I can't say no to her. So just outside, my daughter can see the jungle gym from our complex. So she just took off running, Your Honor. She saw her friends there, and I could see off in the side some of the parents sitting down, so I went and joined some of the parents. And, we were having conversation, and I saw immediately my daughter just flew up to the top, and she was just playing, laughing, fun with the other kids. So she got about midway up, and she looks back at me, and she's like, "Daddy, Daddy." She's just screaming her little head off, looking at me, and I was like, "Hey, Pumpkin." And so I was continuing my conversation with one of the parents, and I looked back over, and she was laughing. And then suddenly, she just fell. She slipped off and just hit the ground really hard, Your Honor.
Your heart must have dropped.
My heart jumped through my throat. It was terrifying. So I immediately jumped off the bench. I went flying over to her. I wanted to pick her up, and I looked down, and she was just screaming.
I know this had to be scary.
Yelling. Loudest screams I've ever heard her scream. And she was holding her head.
Could you tell then that her head was injured?
Yeah, I saw blood, Your Honor. And I also see her arm, it looked like it was broken. And I was just trying to not lose it, but I started to get a little hysterical. I was starting to cry, and so I got down to the ground, and I wanted to hold her. I wanted to grab her and just squeeze her and just tell her everything was gonna be okay.
Sure.
So one of the parents called the ambulance for us. And a few moments later, I was able to kind of gather myself. So I grabbed my cell phone, I called my wife, I told her we just had a horrible accident on the playground. And I told her she's got to meet us at the hospital.
So, Ms. Hughes, what do you remember about this day? How did you know that something had gone wrong?
Well, I was actually out front of the property working on some landscaping, and I got a call from one of my tenants that a child had fallen off one of the jungle gyms. So, this is a parent's worst nightmare. No one likes to get a call like this. I'm so sorry this has happened to this family. But I rushed over to address the situation. And, Your Honor, this is when I found out that the child had fallen from the higher level jungle gym meant for the older children. She should never have been up that high. And she should have been supervised. So I'm sorry, Your Honor. I really am sorry this has happened to this family, but...
When you say higher jungle gym and lower jungle gym, explain what you mean by that.
Well, Your Honor, there are two separate playgrounds. One for children ages 2 to 6 with a 4-foot jungle gym, and one for ages 7 and older with an 8-foot jungle gym. They are clearly separated, and there are signs with rules and regulations saying that there are two separate playgrounds.
This is one of your signs here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Please ensure all children are playing in his or her designated play areas.
Okay.
Your Honor, it's a parent's responsibility to know how old their child is and to have them play in the right playground.
Ms. Jimenez, your daughter Alma, my understanding is you filed this lawsuit for medical expenses in the amount of $35,000, pain and suffering in the amount of $150,000 for a total of $185,000 for injuries that your daughter suffered when she fell off a platform at Miss Sullivan's dress shop. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Miss Sullivan,
Yes,
you
Your
don't
Honor.
think this is your fault. You think, frankly, this is their fault. True?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's get into the legal sauce. Ms. Jimenez, tell me how we got here.
Well, Your Honor, ever since the day my baby Alma was born, I've been planning a quinceañera. She's my only daughter, and when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't get to have one. And I don't know if you're familiar with a quinceañera, but it's a celebration.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, a 15th birthday, like a sweet 16
Yes,
or a
ma'am.
bar mitzvah.
I've been to a couple of them, so it's quite a festive occasion.
So you understand, right? It's a big to-do. We had the venue, we had the limo, the catering service, everything was done to the nines for my baby girl, my only daughter.
Is it fair to say that, and if I mess it up, it's a quinceañera?
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera.
Quinceañera, correct.
Okay, so you're at Miss Sullivan's shop and you're getting the dress altered. What happened?
So we're there, we're in the fitting room, and so Alma gets up on that platform, the platform that's sitting right there, and she's posing, we're taking pictures, you know, doing the selfie kind of thing, just so she could share with her friends and we could share with our family.
Y'all just having a good time, being happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is, again, we're approaching the
Sullivan,
day of the thing.
Do you remember this happy day?
Yes, I remember it just a little bit more difficult than that.
By difficult,
yes.
what do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Jimenez was a bit difficult to work with, and
You
she
sound
was
like
very
you're dancing with the words.
demanding. She was very demanding. Yeah, she might have been a B word.
Now, I'm sure what that meant was Mama Bear.
Absolutely. This is my daughter's day. I want it to be perfect.
She was a little bit more difficult than we've ever had
But you
before.
keep saying difficult. Tell me, what does difficult mean? I need to get there.
Extremely demanding and
Give me an example.
not very willing to listen to instruction about being on the
Alma
platform.
or Miss Jimenez?
Alma. And Miss Jimenez as well. I was trying to get her to not be dancing around on the platform.
Your Honor, this
Now
is
you-
a special occasion. We are happy, we're excited.
But,
are
Ms.
we
Jimenez-
supposed to stand there stiff like mummies
Well, you're
and not
trying to
do
get the
anything?
hymn done, though, right?
Well, the problem is it's a small platform, and the platform is strictly designed for the young lady to stand up there so that we can do the alterations and then step down after the alterations have been done, and she could do her dancing there.
So you needed them to stay still.
Yes.
Now, Miss Jimenez, how did your daughter get hurt? I see the crutches. How did she get hurt?
So, Your Honor, they did all the alterations. So she proceeds to step off the front of that platform, and you see how huge that dress is.
Yes, ma'am.
She proceeds to step off the front.
Now, you admit that y'all were moving around, having a good time.
Of course, Your Honor, we were celebrating. This was the last thing we needed to check off our list.
Playing. My favorite song came on.
I mean, it was innocent fun.
So you're dancing around, you're having a good time.
Yes, sir.
She's about to step off the platform, and then what happens?
And then she falls to the ground, Your Honor. She falls to the ground. I hear her screaming, my leg. I run over to see what was going on with her. I'm sorry, because this is very traumatic for me, just remembering back to that day.
It's a big deal for any parent
It's
to
so-
see a child
I'm
hurt.
sitting there on the floor, I'm screaming. I'm like, are you okay? I don't know what is going on with her.
You felt pretty helpless.
I did.
You discovered later that your daughter broke her leg.
I did.
As reflected in the medical records that you all
Yes, sir.
submitted.
So after all that, the paramedics come, and they told me that she broke her leg.